The resignation of a sitting president is a somber affair. To officially introduce by a legislative act a congressional response to the voice and will of we the people, the citizenry that we serve, to uphold the oath as a congressional servant to the nation that we love. This morning I introduced 3 resolutions calling for resignation. One for the President of our United States, another for his Secretary of Defense, and another for his Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. America faces a great division coming into this era of unspeakable grief as we look with broken hearts upon the failure of our executive branch to execute a well-planned withdrawal of American forces and allies and assets from Afghanistan. There was a plan in place last year that was turned over to the Biden administration that I supported and would have worked. But our president determined that he would not follow the previous administration's plan for withdrawal. He went off upon his own. Now there's many millions of Americans are hurt because they supported President Biden, and they look on in horror at the tragedy that has unfolded before them. And they know in their hearts, you Americans, you know who you are. I'm speaking to you now with compassion and love as your fellow American. Let us set aside our political affiliations and our ideological perspectives during this moment of challenge in American history. And let us just convey to each other from the depths of our heart and soul that we recognize the failure of our executive, and it's the right thing to do for the President of the United States to preserve some modicum of honor and to step down. If he does so, the constitutional process will move forward. And for my Democratic brothers and sisters across the country, whom I strongly oppose in this last election as a Republican and a conservative constitutionalist, but I speak to you now as an American. Understand that asking for your president's resignation, demanding your president's resignation because of his failure, causes the ascension of your vice president to the status of commander-in-chief and president of the United States. You put her in office, let's see what she's got. Because the right thing to do in America right now, as our reputation worldwide has been savaged by the actions of our own executive, as our allies meet in private to discuss their failed trust in America. What path forward? President Biden has been in elected office for 50 years. It's arguable that he's not of his whole and right mind. We are compassionate people, but we expect performance. And performance right now for President Biden calls for him to step down. His top military advisors, their brothers, they know what to do. They swore an oath. We're asking for their resignation as well, officially, by congressional resolution. We, the most conservative of us. These resolutions have many, many co-sponsors, original co-sponsors, some of the most conservative voices in Congress at a very difficult time have stepped forward and put their name and reputation on the line to officially and formally call for the resignation of the President of the United States and his top 2 military advisors. During this dark hour, let the hope and brightness of the American spirit lead the way. Just frequently through the annals of history of mankind calls for a leader to make a courageous gesture to resign from his position of power. We call upon our president now to embrace this moment and at the darkest hour, lead the way for the recovery of America by your resignation, Mr. President. I thank my colleagues present, and I yield.